What's up everyone? My name is Kemi Sims. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about what I do as a fashion designer. Now you've probably seen some of my vlogs where I show you a day in the life and what that looks like, but I wanted to have more of a descriptive video so that you can actually know what it is that we do. I realize that many people can't say that they know a fashion designer or that they know what we do on a day-to-day basis. So in this video, I'm just gonna give a quick rundown of what my life looks like as an entrepreneur and a fashion designer. So let's get started. So my brand KYRA UNFLTD is a custom-based clothing line where I design formal and evening wear for men and women. My scope ranges from ready to wear to costumes, all of those things. So I'm gonna just talk about what my day looks like or what I do routinely in the design aspect, because I am a business owner. That means my role kind of bleeds into everywhere because I have a small team. However, for this video, I'm just gonna be talking about the fashion design because you wanna know what it is we actually do. So the first step of my design process is illustration. I sketch something out that allows me to communicate with my customer what exactly they're looking for in a design and what I'm creating for them. The next step is the pattern design. So this is where you get into the construction part of fashion design, where you're actually developing the piece of clothing. So pattern design, I would say, is basically the blueprint of a piece of clothing. If you have a t-shirt, the t-shirt is a front and the back. For a pattern, you'll have a front and a back, and it's made according to size. You'll have little instructions on there. Like I said, it's really a instructional blueprint on how to sew things, and patterns are used everywhere. It's not so much just like, you know, the pattern that your grandma or an aunt used to use, and it'll be folded out on that tissue paper, that horrible tissue paper that you could not refold. If you can tell, I've had experience with those in my earlier stages of designing. So the next step of my design process is sewing, and that is essentially using the fabric pieces that I cut out, using the pattern and putting it together to create a whole garment. The process of pattern and designing is usually the longest part, because you really want to get the pattern right according to size before you cut it out, because that's the blueprint of it, right? Yes, you can always go back and fix it, but certain things just cannot be changed once it's already been cut out. Now, I have the experience and knowledge of designing patterns. There are some designers that don't have that, and I think the term fashion designer, it can be used loosely at times, because some people, they, you know, what they do is they illustrate. They're a fashion illustrator. They think of different designs, they illustrate them, and they hand them off to someone. You can say that as a designer. There are a lot of creative directors that do that for a lot of larger brands, but I think the best designers are able to sew, because when they're sketching, they're able to think of the inner workings of how it's actually going to be put together. So if you are a fashion designer and you're thinking, or if you're considering being a fashion designer and you're like, well, I don't exactly want to sew, I kind of recommend you to just learn a little bit of sewing, just so you can have a little bit of an easier process whenever you are going about your illustrating process. So after pattern design, which is something that I did go to school for, I have another video talking about my earlier stages as a designer. I was self-taught, I learned from YouTube, but I did decide to go to school and learn this because I really wanted to perfect my craft and learn it professionally. So that's pretty much the range of what I do as a seamstress, as you call it, or a designer in the sewing aspect. My role as a business owner ranges from so many things. I mean, it starts with actually acquiring the customer, which leads from marketing, developing my website, updating my website, reaching out to clients. I do realize that it's kind of crazy, because as I'm describing what I do, I realize that a small part of what I do is actually the designing part. And as a business owner, my role takes up so much more with, you know, communicating with customers and making sure that I have track of everyone, making notes of what they do, what they need. So yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to comment below. I really want to do a Q&A. I've been meeting recently a lot more people that are actually going to school for fashion, which is super cool because it's not that popular, it's not that common, and I want to create, I guess, just a little bit more of a inside look as to what it looks like as a fashion designer. Now, my role, which has been different in the past when I've worked as a fashion designer for other brands, my role has looked different. And there's so many different ways that you can implement this career. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, I'm going to own my own business. You can design for somebody else. You can be just a pattern designer. You can be just a seamstress. Like, you can be just an illustrator. Yes, like there are people who sketch really well. They know how to translate someone's descriptive idea and put it into a sketch that can either be manufactured or just can be pretty, because fashion illustration is a career as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy fashion, business, and lifestyle videos. I will see you guys next Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye.